Afternoon, everyone. This is Genevieve and Cody Gremlin, and
Namaste.
we're going to talk about Starseeds today. This is a subject I've been meaning to get to. Let me start off with what a starseed is. A starseed is a person who lived a previous life, but not as a human being. Not from Terra, or Gaia, or Earth, whatever you want to call it. Starseeds come from different places all over the galaxy, or the universe, more so. Within our solar system, there's quite a few different species of human. And then there's also the Draconi, there's the Zetas, which the Zetas are often referred to as what most people would call the Greys, or the Grey Aliens. They're the ones with the big heads and the big eyes.
The Grey Extraterrestrials.
Yeah. The Zeta Reticuli, they are evil. They actually are probably one of the worst, most malevolent. They don't have any emotion at all. And there's the Draconi, which are said to actually work with the secret government, the shadow government. That they can also shapeshift, or because being reptilian, like a chameleon or something, and they can change themselves. And I don't know if it's true or not. I've never met a draconian. I don't want to. But it's just like humanity. There's some that are good, most of them are bad, I would assume. There's probably some good draconians. But Zetas, they are evil. No matter what they say, they cannot be trusted. Nor the Draconi. Just to be on the safe side, don't believe a word they say, if you ever meet one. And back to Starseed. What Starseeds do, technically, Starseeds are born as a human being from a previous planet. And what they do here is to raise awareness and elevate humanity's energies. What we do is we try to help humanity as a whole group.
As a collective.
Yes. To understand the love, to love everyone, to love yourself, to be kind, to be moral, to be yourself, as well as to help you raise your vibrational frequency. That is your energy, to help you evolve, help you grow. Because right now, yes, humanity is what you would consider advanced. However, it is the technology that's mostly advanced, not the human being. So that's why we're here, to help you understand that things like bullying, being racist, being sexist, things like that, that's not good. That's not becoming equal. That
only digresses humanity as a whole, as an entirety.
There is equal, and there's no such thing as greater.
That's right.
There's only equal. However, it is like the black and white and the gray. There are the evil, and there are the bad, but then there's the evil, then there's the good. I don't know too. Evil and good, but then the gray area, there are those who are neutral. It's okay to be neutral and in the gray area, but what you want to do is more so go towards the lighter, the good. Doing so actually raises your frequency as well.
And it enhances your perception, right?
Yes.
It teaches you to become more tolerant and diversified.
However, I will say this. Through darkness and the unknown, we walk through that, and all we see is light at the end. It's like going through a tunnel. And once you get to the end of that tunnel, all you see is light. You will see all the truth. You'll see the reality of things. So sometimes you need to take that unknown step forward. Don't be afraid to try different things, to be yourself. Don't be afraid to get to know people. Don't judge somebody based on their clothes, their skin color, their sexuality.
Their outward appearance or any appearance at all.
No. Because you see, the physical vessel does not matter. Does not really matter. It is a spirit inside of you. That's what matters. That is who you really are. Inside. The soul is who you really are. Who you will always be. The vessel that you carry is nothing more than a fleshy meat bag to wear. It's like a suit.
Right.
It's like a suit.
Absolutely agree.
And with love, you connect and you become a higher being. With love, you can really help enlighten yourself just by accepting, becoming more positive in your life. But with that positivity, it spreads. Emotion like that spreads around and it affects other people. So you have to live, you have to love. The meaning of life is actually to learn, to evolve, and to love. But people just don't seem to be understanding this. This is why starseeds are such an important piece of humanity.
That's right. And this is a purpose and obligation of our channel, of our project with this channel.
I am actually a starseed myself. In my previous life, I was an Apollonian. I was from Alpha Centauri. And I remember a lot of detail, or not detail, but chunks of my past. I'd always wear this long white gown when I was older. When I was little, I would wear like straps like this and kind of go down to like a straight edge, and it was sleeveless, of course, and it was just a dress that went to my knees, and it was all white. I was always wearing white because that was my favorite color, and it was a sense of purity. I also wore this collar thing around my neck. It was like a silver kind of collar with I think it's a heart-shaped lock. And I always wore it. I never took it off. And I also had an anklet, or an ankle bracelet anklet. And it had both the jewelry I wore. I never took them off, and they always had this intricate design of like, it was almost elvish. It had swirls and curls all over it. It's almost like a floral pattern. And what happened, or what I had on my anklet was on two opposite ends there was a white gem and a sort of a diamond pattern like that, and then after them there was this purplish black one, because I believed in the balance as well, just like I do now. There's the dark, then there's the good and light, or good and light, and dark and evil. And I was actually, in my past life, I have no recollection like of my parents. I don't have a family in my past life. However, I did meet people that eventually became my family, but that's another part. Eventually I had a good life after meeting people, after I was set free, because I was actually a slave. I was actually held captive by this overweight amphibian man. He would every day go fishing. I lived in a little hut. I had this little space. I was chained to the wall, which explains the collar. And I had this plushy looking pillow. It was rough though. And I was always hearing the ocean out the window, looking at a slightly blue sky. I don't remember how many suns there were, but it was always very bright. The sun was large. There were many other planets as well, but I think most of my planet was actually just islands and some large mountains, I remember. there were some islands off in the distance of the ocean.
You had explained about a war that had broken out, right?
Yeah, that was actually there before the war broke out. I was there when the war just started. I had to evacuate. Everything just kind of blanks off. I wrote about the story of my past life on this website. I'll put in the description below so anyone could really see it. And I have various descriptions of what happened. Well, now they're not all different. It's just one thing, but some of them are more detailed and stuff, and it's mostly discussions. It's just hard to get out there because whenever I talk, I'm just like, I can't speak. It's been like that for me for a while.
Love. I
can't.
For the way you are.
I know.
I love you.
I just can't get it out there. I'm not a very talkative person. But usually on Apollonia, what we wore was kind of elvish, but also medieval. The clothing we wore, it was very medieval, but elvish, kind of light in purity. There weren't a lot of bad people on our world. There were some people who were just kind of, ugh. But there was a variety of people. There's Caucasian, there's Asiatic, which actually I was considered Caucasian. What would be the class here on this planet? I would be considered Caucasian. I had platinum blonde hair with electric blue eyes and very pale skin. And the man I was supposed to marry back on the planet, by the way, we were like very tall. Very tall. I was actually short among most people because I was like around 6 feet or so, like 6 or 7 feet. My fiance was like 7.5 feet tall. That's how tall we were. That's how tall we got. We were just a little bit taller than people here by a few feet. But it varied between 6 foot at the shortest usually to about 8 or 9 feet. Yeah, I would think that's so. I don't think I've met a lot of people in my past as far as I can remember. I remember villages. And our lifespans were actually like, this is hard to do. I can't speak. I'm just like I'm not the chatty type. Our lifespans were very long. Very long. 2,000 years, we're still considered young. What else was I gonna say? Like, I can't remember. Oh, I had platinum blonde hair and stuff, like I said. But the man I was supposed to marry actually had platinum white hair. White. People actually did have white hair in our like lands, our little system. I don't know. Can't speak.
It's
wow.
Fine. It's completely fine.
But
Just
yes, I don't remember his eyes. I don't remember his color, the color of his eyes, but I remember they were very slick, like his, like, you know, Asiatic. He had also pale skin, and he had always worn what you consider a suit. It was just like the long sleeve and stuff with very intricate design. There was also what would consider African, like what you would see as African, like with the darker skin color. There was this one girl in particular I met. She had very floofy hair that I loved, and a nice like pattern. She was tribal, you see. She would wear this tank top, or not tank top, but like this little tube thing around her. And then like it was all made of like boar skin, what looked like a boar, I think. I mean, it looked kind of piggish, but it didn't have the snout. It didn't have the same snout. It was very ugly looking. I'm not sure. I can't remember quite right what it looked like in the face, but they were these very large husky animals. They were very fuzzy. But she wore that, like, the pelts, and she had like the tribal designs on her, and a headband looking thing over her to cover her hair over her head. And she was, again, what you would consider African. And she was actually part of a warrior tribe. She was a warrior girl. That's how I referred to her. Me growing up, I was shy, so, or not shy, but like I was always, I never talked. And the reason for that was because I always had this heavy feeling of just like dread. Well, not dread, but fear of others. Because, again, I grew up as a slave. I didn't know who I was or my parents. I didn't have a name, really. Not that I could remember. I remember my fiance in my past life called me Princess. I don't remember if there was a language or not, because how I remember it was just like how I perceive the language I am speaking now is English. So I don't remember any particular language. Oh, there's also amphibious people. That was the guy who owned me, supposedly. So, owned. But, he was an amphibian. Then there was also wyverns. And for those of you who don't know what a wyvern is, it's basically a dragon, 2 legs, but instead of, like, arms and stuff, it was just, like, wings. And these were friendly, because what we did was we trained them. Then I remember the fish were very colorful and like large. A goldfish, what looked like a goldfish, like with red stripes going up and white, just like glistening white gold looking. This thing looked like an angel or goldfish. It was pretty cool looking. I remember like a variety of fish, and I remember the flowers as well. Because I would always watch the sunset in like a patch of empty, it was like a circle of just field, a small field with flowers. I was always sitting in a tree, and I would just watch the sunset. I actually have some pictures on the site I mentioned. And my hair was very long, actually. It actually went down almost to my ankles. And my dress was, it was tight, and then it kind of spun off down here. It's like, so it was very medieval kind of looking, but also elvish, kind of mixed in. You remember from like Lord of the Rings, the elvish people?
Alright.
Like they had the intricate design and stuff that was also medieval looking.
Rivendell.
Like that. Yeah, like Rivendell people. Except we didn't have the pointy ears. We looked like, I just looked like this.
Just ordinary other human beings.
Yeah, just with longer hair, paler skin, brighter hair. My eyes were more electric, and I was taller. About 6 or 7 foot. Probably almost like 7 feet. But, yeah, that's how it was there. And I remember the sunsets being very colorful. I would see, like, all kinds of, like, shades of different colors. I think there was, 7 planets. 7 planets. And, let me think. What else can I remember? There was a desert area, I remember. And there were these large bones. Like, large. They were bigger than a whale. Like, this... It was bigger than this room. Like, these whales, they were just... It was a rib cage in the spine. But, yeah, there's this big area for a desert. I mean, not like Arizona big. I mean, just like... It was kind of like how you would see, like, a large lake. It was, it wasn't hot. Not particularly, but... it was very sandy. There used to be, I believe, water there. But I know that there was... Here's the desert, and then there was water, like, off the coast. Like, just right over here. It has a small wedge of forest. because there was a lot of water on the planet. The lands were mostly smushed together, and there was islands. I would always call this planet that I lived on Paradise Planet because it was always very tropical. Not like tropical with like palm trees or something, but it had a vast forest. The trees weren't like incredibly tall, but they were tall enough. And I remember the mountains. There was just like, it was sort of like a circle or half circle of large mountains. Yeah, I don't always talk about this kind of stuff to people because people are stupid.
I wouldn't even say the word
I would.
stupid. It's more
People
along
are-
the lines of
People are just...
not a lack of open-mindedness or judgmental
Say it how
or
you will, I call it stupid.
apathetic, narrow-minded.
Because you see, what people neglect to think is we cannot, humans, what I am now, and what you are, you cannot exist without other beings in this vast universe existing as well. It is impossible. It is literally 100%, a million times percentage impossible for one species of humanoid to exist.
That's right.
For all these animals on this planet to exist, these plants, these organisms. It is impossible for any of this to exist without another place being overrun by all kinds of flourishing nature.
And who are we to, as human beings, to coexist without
that's
connectedness
arrogance.
within that could be found with the correlation of nature
Pure
or
arrogance.
the universe or even one another as human beings? Right?
It's very much arrogant to think that we are alone and that we are the center of the universe. We're not. Actually, Gaia or Terra, Earth, is called to us. We call it the planet of the children because you are still learning. You are still very young. There are younger planets. There are younger planets with other beings on it that are learning just as well. They're probably like what you would call in the Stone Age. They're still young beings, and you are one of them. Earth is a young planet filled with people that are just still learning, still trying to coexist within this vast world.
We're still trying in a process to develop and to adapt, to grow, and to coexist among one another.
And I've seen that people are becoming more loving, and that is a good thing. You need to be more loving,
Absolutely.
and open, and accepting. You need to accept yourselves as who you are, as well as accept others. Do unto others as you do unto yourself.
And that's all what we promote through this inspiration project.
You just need to wake up. Just wake up to the real reality of things.
Open the eyes of your minds and your spirits, and allow that gateway of the unknown to course through you and to travel throughout the dimensions of time and space, and to ultimately become greater as human beings every day. And that's what we try to promote and advocate and tolerate and try to further promote through our videos here. We hope to inspire you in one shape, form, or perspective or another, and we hope that we have become successful in that and become victorious.
We're all part of one world. It does not matter if water separates us. Land is not owned. It is shared between each individual. And this world is all ours. It is ours to flourish and to just
To
live.
manifest and consume ourselves within.
We cannot take it for granted. We cannot throw plastic and unreusable stuff that we stick in the ground, like glass or plastic bottles or stupid shit.
Well, I thought you were meant about certain human beings who litter the environment.
What I'm saying is, don't litter, sweetie. I'm saying don't litter because that is killing yourselves. You cannot live on a trash heap. You you have to really take care of yourself. To take care of your world is to take care of yourself. You have to use things the way you're supposed to.
That was naturally intended for.
You can't create things that are toxic to the world. You can actually make plenty of things with just everything around you. A wooden house. Villages on my planet were made out of wood. They were also made out of certain metals. Strong metals and crystals, actually. Because the crystals on our planet they were everywhere. They got huge. They were literally huge. But there's a castle that I lived in. It was, well, palace castle, whatever you want to call it. It was huge.
It's not.
I'm not saying that makes me special or anything, though.
It's not a figment of our imagination either.
It was actually just like a big house. Because technically, we were called royalty. And royalty is not how you perceive, like, people here who are royal. They're fake royals here. See, royalty, where we're from, means that you protect your people. Not your people, but your fellow inhabitants, like your fellow man. The people you care about, you protect them as a royal. It is your job to defend your planet, your people, and everything on them.
They're not the Pope. They're not the false prophets. You know, like the Vaticans or the elites.
Mm-hmm. What it means to be royal is to protect your loved ones. It means we sacrifice our lives to protect you and care for you. What we try our best, what we can do to help everyone, to help you grow crops. That's not to say we go out like, well, we could if we wanted to. We actually go out and plow fields and stuff, like help you grow your stuff if you're having troubles. But we also work as people who transport specific items to other places. See, that's what the wyverns are also for. They're sort of like the natural mobility. And they would carry large crates filled with certain items that we would actually send to other lands. Because you see, there were other royals as well. The royals are like the true police officers, the guardians. And there was nothing special. We didn't wear like fancy outfits or something. We wore armor. Well, I didn't wear armor because I was just the wife or the fiance. And my fiance back then actually carried a sword on him. There was no guns really. I mean, there was high technology and stuff, but there was no guns. See how we're actually more advanced than this planet, much more advanced. We don't carry guns, but we do carry certain equipment to protect ourselves. And swords are just natural, like, of course, a lot of places have those, like swords. It's actually quite cool. Sometimes they're for decoration. And we did have what you would call spaceships or UFO crafts, but we never really showed them. They would always be kept somewhere else. That was a different area. Research facilities were kept in different areas. It was like a city that we kept things like that in. And where I lived was a village area. And we were very close to an open field, and just next to that was the mountains that I was talking about. And that was my home. It was just like crystals and certain elements, natural elements. And that's what could be done here as well. Just like natural living. I know it seems tough, but it's actually very easy.
It is possible. Anything's possible.
And I'm not saying go cut down trees, like constantly, like to make homes and stuff. Like, you need to also give back what you take. Just like the Native Americans, you give back what you take. So if you take a tree, you plant a tree. If you take fruit, you give fruit. There's no currency where I'm from. We grow food that's natural and organic, straight from the ground, and we hunt other animals as well, but we do it in a way that does not affect the environment in a deep way.
And basically use the currency was a form of a system of barter trade.
My planet? No.
No?
No.
No.
Don't talk about my planet.
Well,
No, you are not a part of this.
Well, that's what it should be, right?
No! There was no currency. There was no barter trade. I mean, you could trade, but really we just shared things. We did things that were equal. We helped each other out. If we wanted something, we just did it. It was that easy. We did stuff because we're not lazy. We actually did a whole bunch of it. We created our own stuff. We farm, we hunt, we do things to help our communities. Not for our own selfish benefits, like to get money or something. We did it because we seek pleasure and happiness when we see others happy. We share each other's happiness. We share each other's love. And we take care of each other because we're all a family. We don't see difference. All we see is another being to love and to hold, to take care of. And if somebody's struggling, which usually doesn't really happen, but if somebody ever did struggle, somebody, well, actually more than just one person, they're gonna rush right in and say, "Hey, do you need help?" And then we'll gladly pick up where you left off, and we'll just knock that out in less than a day. A few seconds even. Things get done that quickly. Because you see, they're like, it's different everywhere, but yet the same. And that's also can be said about, it's like I say to people, we're all different, yet we are the same. Because we're all human, but we're all different as humans as well. We're all individuals. And speaking outside of my planet, there's also the Pleiadians. There's also the vegans. Then there's, let's see, what else is there? There's the elders. There's the Council of Light, which are the Council of Light are groups of certain people from different planets, certain galaxies, that kind of create an order. Think like Mass Effect, if you've ever seen it. You remember the Council? Except more. A lot more. A lot more people. And not everyone is going to be humanoid. Not everyone's going to look like us. And if they are, they're going to be taller. So yeah, they're never really going to look exactly like us or something. So that's something you also have to get over. Because soon enough, we're coming. We're not coming to invade. Get that dumb shit out of your thoughts. No one's going to come in to invade you except for the red eyes. Well, the Zetas. The Reticulans have already done that. Well, they haven't invaded, but they're still kidnapping people and doing horrible things, traumatizing things. And also the Draconians as well. As far as I can tell, those are the two bad ones, the two major bad ones. One will eat you, the other one will take your DNA and mix it with theirs. The Zetas take your DNA. Yeah, so I don't like either of them. Kill on sight. I mean it. And, yeah, so, there are going to be various types, not all of them humanoid looking, so you just have to expect them to come, because they're coming soon, very soon, and they're going to come with a message of love and peace. So accept that as well. Accept that love and embrace, because they will accept you. You have to let go of all your fears, all of your negative emotions. There are beings out there that will help you, just help love you and teach you these things. Because you are still young and still learning. So of course they will act as teachers and guides. And once they're here, once we are here, there will be a deep impact and change on this world. There will be a lot more natural things going on. There will be more healthy benefits for you. So,
and positive effects.
Yes, that's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
No one's coming to really invade. No one's going to hurt you. Soon as my people come, as well as the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, all the council members, all the species of the councils, once they come here, which will be very soon, they will protect you and guide you. It will help you in any way they can. Because for the longest time, they couldn't interfere. And there's a reason for that. The reason why we can't directly interfere, well, typically, like, you know, come down from the sky and poof, light show. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. The reason why they haven't directly interfered is because of a number of reasons. Because humanity was not ready for the longest time. They have been here in the past, like the Anunnaki, they have been here to influence people, and there are different races that were considered gods, or super beings created, or stuff. Humanity was just is just a genetic alteration of them up there, your relatives. So technically don't go thinking, oh, they're weird. No, they're actually a part of you and me and all of us, because they actually helped to create humanity. With their DNA, the original human inhabitants were monkeys, things, which, using genetic alteration with 22 different species, or at least 22 different species, that creates humanity, the variety that we have now.
Absolutely. And not to
He's Asian.
There's
one example, and here's me. I'm another example. Example 2.
Right. And not to mix it up into like misconceptions of any kind. We ourselves do believe in a divine creator, a higher power, a god, if you will.
Yeah, and other planets do as well. The Pleiadians believe in God. So don't go say like, oh, they're godless heathens. God, I cannot speak. Godless heathens. They're not.
Basically, do not place the label upon us in your misconception and misjudgment over us to consume that perspective in your mind to where you might believe that under depression we ourselves are godless.
Actually, I am a Christian, partially Buddhist.
Likewise, I am a wayseer, a spiritualist, a philosopher, and a firm, convicted believer. Well, you know, in my conviction, we are ourselves spiritualists. A deeper conscience of spiritualists in our Christianity and our belief with God and with the universe, and with hope, faith, and charity, and a universal truth of brotherhood and sisterhood of love that we share in a diversity and through equality among one another. And we just wanted to clarify that.
To hate another is to hate yourself, because everyone is just, like Cody says, is a collective. We are all one. In this world, in the universe, we are all one. And what people need to know is, basically, to hate another person is to hate yourself. Because everyone is the same.
It's contradictory to hate another human being, because that is your fellow brother and sister.
So you can't bully without bullying yourself. To bully another is to bully yourself, to basically hate yourself. If you're racist, you're hating yourself as well.
Exactly.
Because they are part of you. Just because they're not your brother or something, or your sister, or your aunt, your uncle, your mom, your dad, whatever, does not mean anything. We're all family. We are all part of each other.
And because they are a complete stranger does not entitle you the right to judge them, or to devour or belittle them.
This even goes for animals. Animals do have souls. They are living beings. But they're not higher in the evolution state. They're still minor little balls, still like babies almost.
So we have to give them the respect and love and
they're still learning as well. They're still provide. You know, getting up there.
That's right. I agree with you.
Yeah, so don't go saying, oh, this dog has no soul, so I can beat the hell out of it. No! That actually makes you burn in hell. And yes, hell does exist. See, that is another plane of existence, as well as angels. They're non-physical angels. Well, they can become physical, and they can change their gender, shape, and whatever.
Yeah.
But they're from a different dimension.
People like that, who are intolerant towards animals or abuse animals. And as I said in my rant from before, why not come and try and abuse me, and I'll show you exactly what it is, what the real physical form of abuse is. You know?
You can't get aggressive with anyone. You can't get aggressive with any being. Dog, hamster, gerbil,
That's right.
whatever. Because that's also hurting yourself on the inside. It's hurting your soul. It's hurting who you are. You can't do that.
No, not at all.
And when you're reincarnated, the thing is, you don't remember who you previously were, usually. Sometimes people will actually remember past lives. Excuse me. My throat burn, sorry. I've been talking too long. What I was saying was, we're all still the same, regardless of our physical form. We are all spiritual beings. We're ourselves. You cannot do unto others and expect nothing to happen. You're eventually going to see that karma's a bitch. Well, not a bitch, but she'll bite you in the ass. Really hard.
What goes around comes around.
Like a shark.
Basically. In a formal perspective to speak of.
Yeah, so you cannot abuse anyone without abusing yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know about spiders. I think spiders have souls.
Spiders perhaps have souls.
Maybe.
That's an interesting concept to think of. Never thought of that.
For all you know, it could be your aunt, who probably murdered somebody. And this is the atonement. She became a spider. 5 minutes of living squish. Sorry, but you're ugly, auntie. Don't do that.
That's not
Don't
good.
do that. Spiders are good for this world. I don't like spiders still, but
They still serve a beneficial purpose.
they're still good. If we didn't have spiders, spiders eat the bugs. So if we didn't have them,
Right.
bugs would take over.
At least they eat the mosquitoes.
Thank God. I hate the itch. The itch.
Is there
There's
anything-
saliva itches.
Is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to say in conclusion? Or?
I love you all. God be with you. May the divine creator bless you. And remember that I love and accept all of you for who you are. And I will never stop loving you. You're my family. You're my friends.
From the both of us, of course.
You are, every one of you is everything to me. You
Well,
are
to
part
us.
of our world.
To us both.
Yes, you're part of our world. And I hope you have a blessed night. Get some sleep. Don't get depressed. Think happy thoughts.
Namaste.
And know that
Peace
we
and
both
Yashua.
love you.
We both love you. And we appreciate all the valued friendships, the support, and of all those who have received a positive influence and adapted that into your everyday lives. And while of course there are quite a few, perhaps YouTubers, a handful of them who do not care an ounce for their fans or their supporters or friends of theirs. However, we do, and we are ourselves realists as we are philosophers. And as always, we appreciate all of you for watching our videos and being inspired by them. It does mean a whole lot to us. It means the absolute world to us and the entire universe, and even beyond the universe. So thank you always for watching, and I hope you learned quite a lot from this video. It might be quite a lot to synchronize mentally into your minds, into the fragments of your mind. However, if you watch this video over and over quite a few times, maybe then perhaps you'll have a deeper understanding or comprehension for it. But as Jen said, we all love everyone equally, and
Shoo.
shoot. What are you doing?
Shh, just let this happen.
Well, as eccentric as we are, obviously, of course. Well, I don't mind a shoe on my face, so.
You're dumb, weird. New shoes. For clean. It's okay. You won't get sick. And if he does, I'm good. Love him.
Well,
Heal.
have a great night, everyone, and hope that all of you have a great rest of the day or the week, and hope you continue to follow us in this journey of life and of consciousness. So, thank you for watching, and see you guys.